Hey, Em.
Hey, hi Wilbur. How are
How are
you?
you?
I'm okay. Staying busy with hand these days.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, hopefully I think we're going to be in your neighborhood if we get Cumberland Cottages. 141st and
Yep,
Cumberland.
I'll be a neighbor.
That'll be good. How's your family?
Good, thank you.
Good to hear. And hello, Cecilia. I know you've been a busy lady.
How are you? Nice to see you.
I'm good. And today the sun's out. I'm real good.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hi guys, it's Karen Russell. I'm getting ready to pick up Jake, so I'll leave my screen off.
Okay. No worries.
Whoops. I lost everybody. Hello?
We see you.
What did I see? Just you, Wilbur.
Look over where your gallery isn't there like a place there where you can
Teams.
see everybody.
I have Teams. I
I know
was
on
going.
Facebook. I know on Facebook there is. I'm not sure about Microsoft Teams.
I get activity. Read. You'll see your mentions. Chat. Teams. I'm getting create a team. It's like I got a new picture.
Oh.
Hello. Files. Okay, see what everybody's doing. Oh, I don't know what to do here.
Kelly Luark, do you know what she should do?
Try exiting out and joining again. Try that.
All right, will do. Oh. Well, I exited and now I see people. Okay. What I wanted to do is, can I make my screen small so that I can read the agenda at the same time? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
You
I'm
can't.
so sorry.
You
I've
can
heard of
minimize.
mine.
Go ahead and try and just use your arrow to drag your computer screen smaller for the Teams meeting.
Okay, I can do that. Thank you. Was that you, Kelly?
That was me.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. That works.
Good.
Hi, everybody.
So, it looks like one of our interpreters got off the call, so both of them aren't on right now. So I'm keeping my eye on it to see. But
do we have
any? Thank you.
Do we have anyone deaf in the group now?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I know sometimes they did it. I really needed it in some meetings because I'm hard of hearing, but in things like this, I don't need it.
Right.
So I hope you're not having to do that thinking I am.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Stephanie, your hair looks great.
Yes.
Thank you.
I saw you.
I didn't wash it either, so that's so nice of you.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my ally shirt, but I feel like you can't see it very well.
Oh,
I have mine on too.
this is the first time I've been on this team site. Is there a way to see everybody? Do I scroll or do something? Anybody know?
If you go up in the, if you go to the top right-hand corner and you see the two little people, if you click there and hit show participants, it will show you what you can see.
Okay.
Hi, Charlie.
You should
I have-
also be able to, if you go to the top, there's three little dots next to each other. If you hover over it and you click on it, there's like a gallery view that will show you if you're trying to actually like see everyone's faces.
Yeah, I think the gallery view has 9, and you might have an option for a large gallery, which is even more of the faces.
Oh.
We'll give everybody just a few more minutes to jump on here, and then we'll get started. It looks like we have a nice turnout this evening, and Kelly Luark, let us know when the ASL interpreter is on, or
Okay, yep, I'm keeping my eye on. One of them emailed and said that she was in the waiting room, but I don't see anybody in the waiting room right now to admit in, so
okay.
I'm gonna have her try it again.
Oh, there's Jamie McCabe. Hi, Jamie.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, so glad to be here.
Is Hannah Carlock on here yet?
Yes, I'm on here.
Okay, cool.
Kelly Luark, will
So
you
if
let
you
us
guys are just
know
joining
if the
us-
ASL interpreter's there?
If you guys are just joining us, make sure that your microphone is muted so we don't sound like aliens. That would be fantastic. And if you are not quite sure how to do that, go to the top of your screen and just click on the little microphone, and it will make you not echo. I love end of the day meetings because everybody just is hopping back on the computer and they're all checking their hair. Not me, I just put a hat on.
So do we have the ASL interpreter? No?
I do not see them. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We can wait a few more minutes.
Okay. If there's someone that needs an ASL interpreter, if you could put in the chat box that you do, I apologize. We do have 2 interpreters that are supposed to be on this Teams meeting, and we don't always know whether there's somebody that needs an interpreter. But if you could just say yes or let us know if you do, but I don't know what happened.
Kelly, you were on mute when I think you were talking.
Well, I was just saying if they need an interpreter, they probably can't hear us telling them. that.
I was gonna put it in the chat, Kelly. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
gonna do
thanks.
that.
You're right. Okay, thank you. Yes, hello. So thank you. Okay, hi. How are we doing? Do we have an interpreter?
I haven't seen
No?
anybody else join.
But was she on before?
One of them was, but then she left. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay. Stephanie, was there anyone there that did you put in the chat? Yes, you did. Okay. Okay. And I'm looking at my emails to see if maybe there's some technical problems. I know a few people wanted the link again. So we're gonna go ahead, I guess, and get started since it's already 5:37, and we'll if we do, let's see what we can do. You know, Kelly, Luarg, maybe, or Stephanie, if you see, I don't know if you're able to check your emails, maybe if you see an email or something come through from somebody. But welcome everybody to the March quarterly meeting of the Fishers Advisory Committee on Disability. I am Cecilia Coble, and with us today is also Kelly Hartman. She is also the co-chair of this committee, and we want to welcome you today. We've got a lot of things to share with you this evening, and so we really appreciate you being on the Zoom call today, on the Teams call. One of the things we just want to share with you, which you probably already know, is this is March Disability Awareness Month, and Fishers is celebrating. Our theme this year is building our inclusive community. And one of the exciting things that we want to share with the community is that this has been a building of a solid foundation since right before the city became the city of Fishers, the town became the city of Fishers. And so at the beginning of the agenda, we were going to share a video montage of the achievements and the things that have been done throughout our community to bring awareness about disabilities, to bring about inclusion and more opportunities for people with intellectual and physical disabilities. We're going to save that till the very end because it is about a 14-minute video, and we thought we'll just go ahead and end with the video montage. But yesterday was our kickoff. We had a virtual kickoff, and it was a wonderful event. We showed our video montage. We had Ben Trockman, who's the equity and inclusion outreach specialist for Old National Bank. He gave a really powerful presentation about what they're doing at Old National Bank to bring in mentors, to hire more people with disabilities and providing more opportunities. And so they are an organization that is a really great example of the types of businesses that we want to hopefully encourage to be a part of this movement that we're doing. And I just want to give thanks to the March Disability Awareness Committee. We've had about over 40 people that have been actively involved in helping to put together all the events for the month of March. And so we really appreciate it. We appreciate the staff, our PR department, especially Stephanie Perry has been amazing to put all this together, and it's going to be a great event. All the events are going to be virtual this year. And to get more information about it, you can go to the Fishers website, fishers.in.us, disability awareness. There's 2 events coming up in the month of March that we want to encourage you to attend or share it with other businesses, your network. The One Zone Luncheon is going to be March 10th on Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. It is $10 for non-members, and it's free for, I believe it's free for the members of One Zone. But we are really excited. One of the exciting things for 2021 is that we have been in communication for many years with One Zone, trying to encourage them to get on board with us, to help us bring more businesses to the table, working with our direct support providers that provide job coaching, job shadowing, working with the schools, with the transition program there. So we are really excited. So we have Kelly Hope, who is the director of the Division of Disability and Rehabilitative Services, coming to share about how this process works. And we're going to show a video that will show all the success that we've had in hiring people around the Fishers community. So go to the website and you'll be able to get the link to attend that meeting. And then we have a really beautiful virtual gallery art reception at Conner Prairie. It's going to be on Facebook Live. So there's going to be a video presentation of all the artwork that we have, not only in Conner Prairie, but outside, that is being displayed in other businesses around the community of Fishers. That is Friday, March 12th from 7 to 9 o'clock. It probably won't go quite till 9 o'clock, but it starts at 7 p.m. And the Hamilton East Public Library, they have always been a community partner of ours for the last couple of years. And so they have a number of workshops and events and things for families and individuals regarding disabilities. So we're super excited. We are continuing to build, and we just appreciate everyone that's coming to the table, working collaboratively. And so we are going to share about another event that is not listed publicly, but it's an event we want to encourage all of you to participate in, and it's called My Point of View Day. And I'm going to share a little bit more about that towards the very end of what the date is and what we're going to be doing. So the one other thing that's new for this year, and as you see, Kelly Hartman, there's a few of us, Stephanie Perry from PR, we have an ally initiative, Be an Ally, for March Disability Awareness Month. And so we're encouraging people to pick up a toolkit that includes like a shirt and stickers and window clings and yard signs. And then we have provided materials that you can use for social media as backgrounds for your Zoom, for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And on the website, our Fishers website, we have information on how to be an ally, a language guide to help people understand how do you talk to people with disabilities using people first language, what's the appropriate protocol to engage and learn. And so I encourage you to go to the website and pick up your yard sign. They're over at City Hall. They're in the foyer over by Municipal Drive, in the foyer, in those doors there. They're right they're sitting there right there. And I think we're close to running out of our shirts, but we do have, I believe, more decals and stickers and whatnot. And so we're encouraging businesses to put their window cling on their establishment door and put the yard sign outside. So we really appreciate that. The other thing I want to also personally thank is Tom Rich, the president of the Fishers Arts Council. I know he's on tonight. he has been instrumental, and the Fishers Arts Council, of year after year just putting together a beautiful reception, highlighting all the beautiful artwork of people with disabilities who are creative and do beautiful things. So we really appreciate everything that they have done always for the month of March. And so so look for that, and we'll share a little bit more about the rest of My Point of View Day and a little bit more about our 2021 building our inclusive community. So then I'm gonna have Stephanie Perry, the Assistant Director of PR, share a little bit more about a piece of exciting news that we have redone the accessibility and accommodations web page on the Fishers City Council, or the Fishers City of Fishers website, and it has a lot of information about our group, about disability awareness. So Stephanie's going to share a little bit more about how that all works so you can see it.
Real quick, Stephanie, I'm sorry. Real quick, I just want to let everybody know that the interpreter is on. Her name is Katie Carlson. So if you would like to see that, just go to the participants on the right-hand side, look at her name, and there should be 3 little buttons that pop up, and make sure to pin her to your screen, and then you're able to see her, okay?
All right. Can everyone see me in my cool Zoom background right now? Possibly? Yes. So this is an example of one of the Ally Toolkit Zoom backgrounds that we have online. So I just wanted to give a quick plug for that. But I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the refresh we've done to the accessibility pages. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. And this is a redo of the accessibility and accommodations page on fishers.in.us. Can everyone see my screen? Great. So when you go to the main Fishers website, if you would like to, I don't know why. Sorry, I think I'm having a technical glitch. Hold on. Uh-oh. Sorry, I'm not sure what's happening. This residence tab right here is where you're going to go to find accessibility and accommodations. When you hover over it and come down, you'll see accessibility and accommodations right here on the left-hand side. This previously was just called accessibility, and so we worked with the committee and we added and accommodations to help just really direct people where to go to find all of the information. So when you come here, you'll notice as you scroll down that it's much more visual than it used to be. We've added this great photo of the committee from last year's event and a committee page that I'll show you shortly. But we've also added these big buttons that house different information. So parks, public safety, housing and transportation, resources. And then we still have a lot of the same information, but we've also added the same information all here on the left-hand side. So you have a lot of ways to access it. You can either go to the sidebar or scroll down to these big buttons. So one of the areas I wanted to call attention to that the committee was really great at helping to create was this resources tab. And this is new. This is an area where people can go to find out all of the resources, statewide and locally related to disability. And so we have a huge list. They're separated by, service providers. I think at the bottom we have businesses, clubs and networking with links to access all of their information as well as descriptions. We also have a form that we've set up. So if someone comes to this site and has their own resource to offer, they can fill out this form and we will route that through the committee and get that added. So I'm really excited. I think that is just a great way to provide more information. Over here, you can always get back to our other areas, but just one more new spot, I'll show you is housing and transportation. We have this great video clip here with Wilbur from the committee, and then information. Sorry, I'm having a slight delay with my home internet, but down here on, South Point Village, lifelong housing, universal design principles used by planning and zoning, and things like that. So the other area I wanted to show you that's new is the committee's homepage, which did not exist. And so you can access that from any of these pages I've clicked on. But this is a great way that we can showcase what the committee is doing, the subcommittees, and really encourage others to get involved. So we have this great photo again, and then some videos like the March Disability Awareness Month proclamation. We have some news articles from Disability Awareness Month and related to the committee, and also information on getting involved, meetings, and resources. We also have a description of all of the subcommittees. So if someone wanted to learn more about, the different committees and the work you're doing, they could do that on this page. So our hope here is that this is really a great way for people to access more information, learn more about the work you're doing. And I think the last area I wanted to show was our March homepage, which is the information Cecilia talked about, where you can go to get everything happening for Disability Awareness Month. We have all of our events and the Ally Toolkit that Cecilia mentioned on here. So this is where you would go to download this toolkit. And like Cecilia said, there's great information, resources, information on how to be an ally, and then all these great social media graphics, everything from Instagram stickers to Facebook frames. We have a great pledge, tutorials if you're not sure actually how to do a Facebook frame or to find an Instagram sticker, and then these Zoom backgrounds that I mentioned. So I hope that everyone is able to check it out. I hope that it's easy to use, and welcome any feedback you have so that we can continue to improve the experience. Was that everything you wanted me to cover, Cecilia? Anything I'm missing?
Yes, I think that's great. Are there any questions from anybody at the meeting right now that anybody have a question on it? Again, we're continuously adding to the resources. So if you see something that you think we might have missed or we don't have up there, just email me, or like you said, like Stephanie said, you can click on there and add to the resources there. So
yeah,
again, we just want to thank Stephanie Perry and the PR department for the city of Fishers. It was their idea for this Ally program. Save your sign, because this is something we want to continue to do every March. So if you take a sign, keep it, because we'll put them out next year. And so this is great. I'm excited. I think this was something that we needed to do that we hadn't done. So if any of you who are on our call tonight, or if you're interested in being a part of one of the subcommittees, email me, let me know. We'll put you in touch with the co-chairs and get you going. So we really appreciate it. So
Cecilia,
next, yeah.
One more thing I would love to mention is the blog series that's happening this month.
Oh,
the first one actually publishes tomorrow. So there's actually on this website, I was just on a link to our blog, but every Wednesday in March, we're doing a Disability Awareness Month guest blog. And so we have a great one tomorrow around caregiving. And I'm just really excited. I think this will be great. So please check it out tomorrow. We'll be pushing it out on our social media as well.
Wonderful. That's great. And also I wanted to mention too, some of the people that are going to be guest bloggers this March are some of the winners of our disability awards. And so for those of you that might not have been on the call or the webinar yesterday, the Life Without Limits Award recipient for 2021 was Maddie Long. Many of you might know Maddie on Facebook. She's a student at Fishers High School, very involved in the Indy Premier Top Soccer, Special Olympics of Hamilton County, Best Buddies, the Champions Together Unified Sports. She's just a wonderful role model and vibrant and wonderful young lady. And so we were really excited to award her that award. The 2021 Accessibility Award winner was Patrick Schooley. Many of you know him. He's the Dean of Students at Fishers High School. He is a coach. He runs the Champions Together program the unified sports teams at Fishers High School. He is a father of a special needs adult son, and he's so committed to disabilities. He is the founder of our Adaptive Sports Showcase that we always have tried to do in March, where we have different adaptive sports teams and performing arts groups perform at the Fishers High School. We're not doing this year because of COVID. So we're just thankful of Patrick. And then our 2021 Cornerstone Employer Award is Ben Pijad. He's the general manager of the McAllister's Deli in Fishers. He's doing an amazing job providing opportunities for people with physical and intellectual disabilities to work at McAllister's and Fishers. He was just so excited. So look for those folks to be on the blog site and to share their story and what's driving them to build upon this wonderful foundation that we're building. So thank you. And then I'm going to now let Kelly introduce our next speaker. Kelly Hartman.
Here I am. First, I'm going to give you guys a COVID update. You know, if you have a loved one or you are a person with a disability who happens to be in the service delivery system at part of the Medicaid waiver, this information will be really helpful to you. Just today, the state announced Appendix K, which for those of you who understand the service delivery system, allowed for some flexibilities for families to better support people at home, as well as the provision of services via telehealth. That was set to expire at the end of February. We have made application as a state of Indiana to the federal, to CMS, to extend those flexibilities. And so the state did make an announcement today to please continue with Appendix K flexibilities. So that is really, really helpful for people to continue to get supports amidst this pandemic. Secondly, I want to just give you some numbers. The COVID positive cases are certainly coming down. We have about 31,000 individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities across the state who are in the service delivery system, whether that be group homes, Medicaid waiver, and that is both the family support waiver and the CIH waiver. So of those, we have 3,023 individuals who have tested positive, people in services. So really that's under 10%, which is a really good thing compared when you look at staff coming in and out. The other thing is that the state has done a great job coordinating with providers, and Walgreens has stepped up. Any individual who lives with 2 or more people in 24-hour supports, they have now had the opportunity to get vaccinated. So folks with pretty significant issues who are in group settings have been given the opportunity to get their vaccine. All staff were labeled long ago as essential workers. So any staff that are working with our folks in intellectual and developmental disability services have been able to get the vaccine. Any encouragement you can give to people to get those vaccines would be really helpful. We have come down from our highs. The November was the toughest month for positive cases, but we are doing better. What's really interesting, I think, about our population is that the groups of individuals who have had the highest percentage of positive cases have been first, the 20 to 29-year-olds, and second group is the 30 to 39-year-olds. So amongst folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities, it hasn't necessarily been those folks who are older or in the high risk category so much as it has been some younger folks. And so that is the COVID update. Does anybody have questions about COVID or Appendix K? Okay.
Hey,
so that's
Kelly,
the most boring thing. I'm sorry, who?
This is Rupal. I had a question for you.
Okay.
I know we're really talking about somebody who is more of a disability, but then do we also know that what is the rule for those who are, I guess, disability due to the age? That means, they're just older people at home?
Yeah, so I think most folks, today the state announced the eligibility for all people 55 and older are now eligible for vaccines. And I don't know if you guys have had interaction with the Fishers Department of Health, but they have been amazing at getting people vaccinated, tested, and especially if you have somebody who is homebound or who is really not able to get out to get their vaccine, they have been great at making arrangements to come into the homes to get people vaccinated. So Fishers residents, and it's also eligible, you don't have to be a Fishers resident. People all over Hamilton County can call the Fishers Department of Health. There are a couple things I would suggest. One, if you're under 55 and you haven't hit an eligibility category, but you're wanting to get vaccinated, if you can get there within a half an hour, you can be on a waiting list. They have a standby list so that they don't waste any doses of vaccine at the end of the day. That's a really helpful resource. Secondly, if you're homebound, I would definitely call them. If you have someone in your home with high risk medical issues that can't really leave the home, they will make arrangements to come and give you vaccinations at home. So at this point, anybody who's 55 and older, as a resident of Indiana, is eligible to sign up and get vaccinated. So I think those are the best resources I've got now. And I find, at least with my organization, I have had a lot of resistance to staff. I think people sit around and watch the news and they're a little bit afraid of getting the vaccine. I myself got both vaccines and I had a little bit of a tough time with the second one, I'm going to be honest with you. But it beats the heck out of having COVID for 2 weeks and having some of the problems that people are really struggling with. I was a little bit, I was down for probably 30 hours. And so it is true, some people are having trouble with the second vaccine, but like I said, it is far less of a challenge than having COVID and being at home and being really, really sick and dealing with some of the side effects people who've been COVID positive have continued to have.
Kelly, today, Hamilton County announced today that they were switching over to Pfizer from Moderna. So I don't know which one you had.
I had Moderna.
But they announced on the news today that the Hamilton County, I don't know if that means the Fishers Health Department is doing that as well, but they just made that announcement on the news today.
The other thing I want to make mention, because I have received a lot of emails about people who have autoimmune disorders or have, disabilities with underlying health conditions or whatever. The city staff encouraged me to tell everybody, go to the Fishers Health Department website and register under vaccine what do they call it, interest. There's a vaccine interest form. If you don't meet the specific qualifications right now, there's a way that you can register, put in what medical conditions you might have. And Kelly's right. What they're doing is they'll go through the list. And if at the end of the day they have extra, they'll go through the people that have registered and they'll start calling people. And if you can make it to the center there, the vaccine center in half an hour, it's first come, first serve. They will have you, they will open it up for other people. So if I hear of anything else, I'll let you guys know, but I definitely encourage everyone who's interested to sign up on that vaccination interest form so that you can be next on the list.
Okay, cool. So obviously Cecilia and I are always here to answer questions if things come up. If you need help getting signed up for the vaccine, if you know somebody that's struggling to get signed up and they need help, just let me know. I mean, either one of us can be very helpful with that and making that happen for you. The next thing on our agenda, and I'm very excited about this, Jamie McCabe, who I have gotten to know a little bit through just the evolution of a new super cool publication called Special Needs Living. Lives in Indianapolis, and She has 3 kids, including a son with autism, epilepsy, and who happens to be nonverbal. He's 9 years old. So, I think Jamie has had the experience that many of you guys share, that isolation and just kind of flailing of trying to figure out how to connect with other people who share that experience of being a parent with somebody with special needs. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, when I was younger, I was supposed to be a journalist when I grow up. So I don't get that excited about new publications because they're not sometimes very well done. This magazine is awesome. And it's really new. I'm super excited to have Jamie with us tonight to talk a little bit more about that so that you guys can learn about how to get it, how to get connected, how to give her information on potential news stories. And already in the chat, she has shared that information, but I want to welcome Jamie and give her an opportunity to tell you guys more about special needs living. Take it away, Jamie. And you're
Okay,
muted.
yep.
I'm going to make sure to say you're muted. Okay.
Can you hear me now? Awesome. Yay, thank you, Kelly. What an awesome introduction. Thank you so much for just the opportunity to be here. I am so thankful and appreciative, and I am also very much in awe of all the things that you guys are doing to help the special needs community there in Fishers. It's extraordinary. So congrats on the new systems and the new pages, and definitely needed. Huge, very excited about that. Yeah, I'm excited just to give you guys a little bit of an overview, kind of share my story a little bit, and then I will, if you haven't gotten a chance to see our digital magazines, I actually just posted that as well in the chat box. So all of our past 5 digital issues are there. So you're welcome to save that and share them and use them as resources to families that can provide hope and inspiration and all that. So a little bit about me. I started being in publishing in 2013, run 2 local magazines. Back in 2019, when my daughter was 5 months old, I really felt God say, you've been doing magazines for 8 years and sharing stories that give hope and inspiration to the community. That feeling of isolation and loneliness, and you could do a magazine that would bring the special needs community together, and that voice just wouldn't leave me. I was so fired up and excited, and I was like, whatever it takes, I'm going to figure out how to make this happen. So our company, the N2 Company, we actually publish over 700 magazines throughout the nation, several in local communities here already. In fact, I'll show you something kind of cool. We do something called Be Local for Fishers. So I'll share that with you guys here in a little bit, which has a bunch of resources in there for you and people in Fishers. But long story short, I got this up and going over a pandemic, which certainly wasn't the easiest thing to do. But thankfully, so many in the community felt moved by our cause and mission and what we're doing and wanted to come alongside that. So currently, we mail to 600 families in Indianapolis and surrounding counties. We also mail to ABA centers. We mail to developmental pediatrician offices. We mail to nonprofits as well that support the special needs community. And then we do have our digital, platform as well, which is reshared. And I post all of our digital versions on our Facebook page, which I did include a link to that in the chat box as well. So you can follow our page and then see our monthly digital magazines and different articles we're sharing there. And you're welcome to reshare those with families if you like. And then I can share with you just a real quick sneak peek. I think there's a way for me to share that. I've never shared through this platform before. So let me pull that up here so you can kind of get a visual. This would be our March issue. Perfecto. This is our April. Well, let me make sure I'm sharing the right one. That was the wrong one. Yeah. New to this platform, so I apologize for trying to walk through how to do this part. Screen share, application window, Microsoft Edge tabs, and this would be February. Yes. Okay. So this is the right one. So this will kind of give you a little bit of a visual of our magazine that we do digitally, and then I'll walk you through a little bit about that as well. The cool thing is with this particular platform, when you are viewing it in here, instead of having to zoom in, which you could do if you're reading it, but it's a little bit harder to read, we have all of our stories below. Which makes it super convenient, and it fits any platform, whether you're reading it through your tablet or your phone, and you can easily click on the story. And when you do click on the story, it'll pull it up in a very user-friendly, easy-to-read format with larger font. So that makes it a lot easier to read as well. So just note that we have all of those there. The other cool part of what we do is that all of the apps our team helps design and create together. And we want our supporters to feel like they can really use their message to help get the information to them in whatever way they feel that looks like. And so all of these are clickable, and resources in the articles can be clickable as well. So just by clicking a website or clicking a link, it'll open up that particular page, which is pretty awesome. So it's been honestly such a blessing. Many of our supporters that are partnering with us love being able to use their space to share valuable information with the community. Digitally, it goes out to about 25 to 30,000 throughout Indianapolis and surrounding counties. It's shared from case managers and developmental pediatrician offices, nonprofits are resharing, what we do through social media, emails, newsletters, which is amazing. And then last week, I got a call from a special education coordinator in the Wayne Township School District. And she is going to connect me to every single school district in the whole state of Indiana to be able to share this as a resource with families in those school districts throughout the state, which is a huge blessing, and very excited for this to continue to be that resource in the community. So all the stories are either written by individuals that have special needs, by parents, by caregivers. They're very personal, they're very real. Ashley actually wrote her story. She had a pretty severe and tragic car accident, which left her paralyzed from the waist down, but she was able to find this outstanding local sled hockey, adaptive hockey program in the city, and is now part of a sports team and has community, which is amazing, but also such a blessing to be able to share this with other families so that they may potentially find out about this being here in the area. We do highlight our supporters in here. We also feature siblings perspectives. We do have kind of caregivers perspectives or caregiver corners. We also highlight nonprofits that support the special needs community. Deandra's story was extremely touching. I can't really kind of get emotional a little bit every time I think about her story and what she's gone through with her son. There was a bullet that went through her home and it hit her son, and thank God he didn't pass away, but he is now no longer able to take care of himself. And through her pain, she started a nonprofit to help victims of gun violence, and she also is a huge advocate for gun violence as well. So this doesn't really even dive into their story as much, but kind of shine a little bit of a light on her journey there. And Olivia, some of you may know, but she has Down syndrome. She is an amazing artist. A lot of her art shows up at different places around the city, like Gigi's Playhouse. And we definitely want to highlight individuals with special needs that run businesses and showcase, what they've been able to accomplish, and through their stories give hope and inspiration to other families. There's a new alternative baseball program in the city. We highlight pioneer parents who started, programs and organizations that exist today. So we just want to continue, helping to give, families hope, inspiration, encouragement, and resources. So I definitely wanted to kind of give you a quick sneak peek of that. We've done, stories like Hope Johnson. She wrote her story. She has cerebral palsy. She can't type or talk. She has a device hooked up to her chair, and she actually wrote her whole story by toe, which when I was reading, it hit me, home in a deep way, and I just really resonated with how truly blessed, we really are. And then I want to show you as well our Be Local products, since most of you guys are in Fishers. So this is kind of unique. It's to new movers in the area and for current residents in Fishers. It's a complete resource guide that we are able to showcase. And if you would like, if you have your phones on you, you are welcome to actually zoom in on this QR code. And if you've never used a QR code before, you just open up your camera, and when you open up your camera, you put it over this code right here on your computer, and it'll come up with a little link that you can click on. And when you click on that link, it'll actually open up all the resources. It's kind of a little map of Fishers and a little interactive map with different places. So if you want to grab your phone and, zoom in, I'll let you do that.
Celia, Jamie, I'm sorry. I am not seeing the QR code. I don't know if everybody else
Oh.
but
Okay. Well, maybe
Yeah,
let
I
me
think
see.
it's
Thanks for
frozen.
letting me know. Okay, let me read. I think when I was sharing screens and randomly talking, I don't think this platform allows me to share more than one screen at a time. So I closed it out. Let me reshare it again.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Yep.
No, that's okay. I'm glad you told me, because
Yeah, you do have to, anytime you move to a different screen, you have to unshare, reshare.
Aha, okay. Let's try resharing again, and then I can reshare the right platform, Fishers Be Local. Perfect. You guys are all like, what am I even talking about? So this is the Be Local, and then let me down here and scroll in. So you can kind of see it. It's a very interactive map that has a bunch of different businesses and resources. So yeah, you just open up your camera on your phone, and then you can put it right over this QR code right here. And that will give you access to all of the resources in Fishers, or not all, but most that we've been able to find and put in there. So again, you're welcome to share this as well as a resource, for others in Fishers. It's just pretty interactive. It's good to know about the parks and the churches and the restaurants and, that sort of thing. So I won't spend too much more time, because I know you guys have a really amazing agenda and I'm looking forward to that. But I did include all of the information in the chat box as well. So you're welcome to go through that, all of our past issues. You're welcome to reshare. If you have ideas for future stories that you want to include, or if you want to nominate other people, there's actually a link where you can click it, answer questions, send that goes directly to me. And then I'm able to follow up on that. And then also, if you want to share a story, there's links to that. As well as a link to our Facebook page. And if anyone wants the digital version or to be added to our list to get the digital version, you or anyone can email me and we will add them to that. And then lastly, if you did want to learn more or wanted to set up a specific time to talk more about being involved, I did include my calendar link in there too, so you're able to set up a quick Zoom call for us to talk more about that. So thank you guys again for just the opportunity of being able to be here and to kind of share more about what we're doing. And there's my video. I'm going to figure out this platform by the end of the day. But I'm thankful to be here, and I appreciate all you guys are doing, and I'm very glad to be part of that in a very small way.
Thank you, Jamie. This is awesome. If you include your email in the chat box, that would be great. And I don't know if there's any questions from anybody.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. And people were asking, like, does it cost anything? No, I mean, this is a digital format, so certainly you can get on the list and get the digital version of this magazine on a monthly basis. It really is amazing. We're super excited to share this with our group here in Fishers.
So excited. Thank you.
So Jamie, is there a subscription fee?
There is not. No, it's all free on behalf of our supporters currently, which is amazing. So yeah, free monthly digitally. We don't want to charge anybody for it. I mean, obviously having a child with special needs, there's a lot of costs that go involved into care. So we didn't want to have another way of inhibiting somebody from having information that could potentially help them or serve them. So it is all free, on behalf of our supporters, which we're very thankful for.
That's wonderful.
I think
Thank you.
the other thing to think about, guys, is, we are a core group that comes to these Tuesday meetings. You all know a bunch of people in your network who caring for folks with special needs. Please feel free to share this information far and wide because the resources really. Thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you.
Okay, now I get to introduce my next friend, Hannah Carlock. I see you, Hannah. Many of you are familiar with the ARC of Indiana, a great statewide advocacy network for people who have intellectual disabilities in their families. And Hannah does an amazing job supporting our mission at the State House. This is a very busy time of the year for her because we are in session. But I know many of you guys have been interested in not only what's happening legislatively this session, but how can you get involved? How can you reach out to legislators? And I'm super excited to have Hannah with us. She is the policy director. I don't even know your title, Hannah. I just know that you're a superwoman. So you can take it from here and let us know what's going on and how we can help support the issues that really impact us.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Kelly, for having me. And hey, everybody, I'm Hannah Carlock with the ARC of Indiana. I'm the Director of Public Policy. In a nutshell, I am the lead lobbyist for intellectual and developmental disabilities at the State House. And this is a big year. As Kelly said, this is my busy time of year. So until April 29th, I pretty much don't have a life. We just hit the halfway point of legislative session. And that means that last week we had our legislative break, which is kind of like spring break for legislators. And so all the House bills had to be completely out of the House. All the Senate bills had to be completely out of the Senate. If they weren't heard, that means that they are dead bills. So now the Senate is hearing House bills beginning this week, and the House is now hearing Senate bills. So it's the second stage of the process, and we have roughly 7 weeks left of session to get everything completely done. This year, it's called a long session. So that means we do go to the end of April, and that means that we are creating the state's budget for the next 2 years. So that is huge, since a lot of things run on the state's budget. So that could be like our roads, our, any kind of safety that we have, public safety, our schools, Medicaid. That's a huge one that the disability population utilizes. So House Bill 1001 is the budget bill. And currently we are working on a direct support professional wage increase. So direct support professionals are the ones really giving us the day-to-day flexibility and just the freedom for people to live their lives. They can, take them out and about whenever COVID is over. They can, help provide meals for them. They, help dress and clothe. Just pretty much just doing your day-to-day activities is what a direct support professional helps a person with an intellectual and developmental disability with. And the state average wage for them right now is around $11.25. So you can go to Walmart and make more than that. So it really takes a heart for a direct support professional to really get into this job. And as Kelly mentioned before, they were included as an essential healthcare worker at the beginning of the pandemic in Governor Holcomb's executive orders. Now we just need to get them paid like an essential healthcare worker. So in the budget, we currently have them making $13 an hour. So that's roughly, $1.75 more than what they're currently making at $11.25. $12.25 an hour. But our goal is to get them to that $15 hourly wage average. So that is our goal. That does have quite a big price tag on it because that will be $80 million within the state budget. So $15 doesn't sound like a whole lot, but the price tag is pretty hefty when it comes to the budget. So we are currently working on that. We have $13 in there. That's huge for us, but we're still going to push for the $15 an hour. Special education funding is another huge thing for us. Special education has been underfunded for over a decade. We've been looking at other states, and currently if you have a child with autism and are in the school system, that child, just for having autism and needing ABA therapy and other supports, gets $25,000 extra. And in Indiana, we only get $9,000 per student with autism. So that is grossly underfunded. And so we are trying to push for more special education dollars because no matter what, the schools have to provide those services to the student according to federal law. So we are working on trying to increase the special education funding. So that's all in the budget bill. I never thought I'd ask for, millions of dollars because I don't ask my mom for $20 for gas. But we are an expensive population, but we are a very important population to the state of Indiana. House Bill 1005, you guys probably have heard about it in the news. It is an education bill establishing education savings accounts for students with disabilities as well as foster families. So we're really trying to put the guardrails around those education savings accounts because families can utilize that for if they don't want to go to public school, they can go to private school and, pay for their tuition, pay for a tutor, pay for therapies. But we just want to make sure that that money going into the savings account does not hurt any kind of resources that they're utilizing, like Medicaid and Social Security. So we're really working hard on that to make sure that there aren't any unintended consequences with the education savings accounts. Tomorrow in the Senate Education Committee, House Bill 1313 is being heard, and this is a workforce bill. And right now we are currently implementing the alternate diploma in the state of Indiana. So that is a fantastic resource for students so that they don't have to get a certificate of completion. They can actually get a diploma because that's huge when you're trying to get a job, having to mark that you do have a high school diploma on your job application. So right now we're trying to implement the alternate diploma, but back when I was in school, we didn't have that option for students. And so this is going back and having the Department of Workforce Development reaching out to those students that didn't have that opportunity for an alternate diploma and providing them with ways to get a diploma, to get workforce training skills so that they can level up, skill up their skills right now that they have so they can get better paying jobs. So that is being heard tomorrow in the Senate Education Committee. We have House Bill 1516, which is licensing ABA therapy. So that's the therapy that most people with autism utilize. So we're trying to license that profession, and we are also putting in that bill some title protection for music therapists. So not just anybody can go and provide music therapy. You actually have to have the training for music therapy and be certified. So that is House Bill 1516. Senate Bill 259 is putting into place some protections for parents with disabilities. So just because you have a disability doesn't mean that you can't be an awesome, loving parent. So we want to make sure that your child cannot be taken away from you by DCS. And if you want to, adopt and be a foster parent, you are able to do so even if you do have a disability because you can give just as much love as anybody else. So those are the main bills that the ARC of Indiana are currently working on. And we do still have 2 months roughly to get all of this done. We are keeping track of things at the federal level. We are, completely aware that the Biden administration is really looking at increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and that could be a little bit worrisome for us because right now in the state budget, we only have a $13 an hour wage for DSPs, and that could really hurt that profession. So we are keeping an eye on that, and just how, since the Biden administration is looking at funding that for the federal employees, but how does that affect Medicaid since that's federally funded? So we are keeping a close eye on that. Session ends April 29th, so this still gives you time to connect with your legislator if you haven't connected with them. If you don't know who your legislator is, I will put it in the comment section, but you can go to the Indiana General Assembly website and click find your legislator, and then you'll just put in your address and it'll pop up your state representative, your state senator, as well as your congressional people out in DC. So that's just a simple, easy way to do that. And then it will also pop up their phone numbers and their emails. And so it's super easy to connect with them. They're there serving you. They are average people, just like you and me. And so they are there to do your work. So tell them what you have. If you have any problems, if you have any questions, they are there to help you with that. If you don't know how to connect with them or don't know what to say to them, you can reach out to me, and I will put my email also in the chat so that we can so you can continue reaching out to them, and I can help you format that email. Yes, in the comment section, Chris Jeter is new. He's a new state representative, and Todd Houston is also a state representative for the Fishers area. Todd Houston is very important, so you guys have a powerhouse legislator representing you. He is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, so he is the one that dictates everything that goes on in the Indiana House of Representatives. So he's a big player at the State House. He's number 3 in power for the entire state of Indiana. And then you should have Kyle Walker in your area-ish. He's a new senator. And I'm blanking on other people. But yeah.
Scott Baldwin.
Scott Baldwin. Okay, yes. So Scott Baldwin, he's also a newbie. So you guys have a lot of new people in the State House, which it is great because they're looking for things to advocate for, and the disability population is fantastic. So get to know them. They're looking for things to help with, and we can definitely use their help, and we need it. So I'm going to stop rambling, and you guys can ask any questions. Again, we end in 2 months, but redistricting is going to be taking place probably in September once we get all of those numbers back from DC. And so they will be back in session late summer, early fall, which is unusual.
I have 2 points that might help the group with context. And a lot of people don't understand this. First of all, with the minimum wage issue, as an employer, those of us who are able to pay $11 to $11.50 an hour, currently we're still $2 or $3 above minimum wage. And if they push minimum wage up to 15, I don't even know how they're going to do that. I mean, it completely freaks me out, because then it makes us at minimum wage at best, and they're going to have to put a lot of money into a Medicaid program for us to even compete. And as you should know from even having me in this group, workforce issues for us that's a nationwide crisis. We do not have enough DSPs to do the work that's out there now. The second thing, which I find really interesting that a lot of people don't know this, Hannah, could you explain a little bit, if we spend $20 million of Indiana money, how that impacts the whole system with federal match?
Yeah, so we do have a federal match. So the state is putting in, for instance, for the direct support professional wage increase, the $20 million, but that's still drawing down millions of dollars. Is like a 75% match. So that's drawing down way more federal money. And so we try to say, if you put a quarter in, the federal government will kick in the rest of the money to make it $1. And so that would draw down lots of money at the federal level from Medicaid to Indiana. And no matter what, that is getting funded at the federal level. So that's going to other states. So that's why we're really trying to draw down that money, because we want to utilize it here in Indiana, just because we need DSPs, direct support professionals, just like any other state does.
Yeah, when I teach staff about this, and there's some differences right now because of the pandemic and how they're doing this. But essentially, imagine if I could help a legislator understand that if we put $20 million in the budget for a year, we turn that into a minimum of $60 million to support folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities statewide. So it is important, as you guys talk to legislators, if you happen to have those conversations, to understand how that math problem works, because I don't know who wouldn't want to turn $20 million into $60 million to support folks here in the state of Indiana. But we can't get that money unless the state of Indiana puts that in their budget for us to spend that. So Hannah, thank you so much. One question in the chat was, what specifically was the workforce bill number that you mentioned?
That's House Bill 1313. Yeah. And then if it's better to email or call them, emailing if you have a lot to say to them, just so that they can continue referencing back to their email to try to answer all your questions. So that's how I would introduce yourself. But if you just, need a quick thing like, hey, there's, for instance, on I-69, there's a major pothole here. We need NDOT to fix it. You can call them. That's a super easy phone call. But if it's something that's more detailed, I would send them an email.
The other thing I just might mention is in Fishers, we're very, very tuned into ABA centers, school-based or center-based programs that support school-age kids. Just so you guys know about the ABA bill, this is the third time that this bill has been presented. It is in a much, much better position to actually get through with an approval this year. I would highly suggest we support that, and that's because people who are ABA providers they're board certified at a national level, but the national organization will not basically hold accountable bad actors. And so this ABA bill will allow the state of Indiana and the Indiana Professional Licensing Board to act in a way that will protect clients, protect consumers of ABA services. If we have an ABA therapist who's not doing things best practice or evidence-based, evidence-informed practice, there'll be authority at the state level to hold people accountable, which is a gargantuan advocacy for people at the point of service delivery. So that's one of the things I'm super excited about is that we will hopefully get that through this year. Any other questions for Hannah? Hannah, you're a rock
I did.
star. Oh, who was it?
Mary.
Okay, Mary.
So I love this talking point on the drawdown issue. And I used to work for the ARC and I never quite understood that, but you really explained it well. It would be really nice to sort of follow up maybe with the group with like a little explanation of that so that we could write our congressman or congresswoman and let them know, the importance of that, because I think that is really kind of hard to understand.
Yep, we can do that.
Yeah, for sure. I can make sure that Hannah and I get that to you guys. To be honest, I owned a business for probably 10 years before I even understood it. And when I finally understood it in a way to explain it to other people, you can see people have their aha moment. Like, I don't know who wouldn't want to turn $10 into 30. I mean, that's a great deal, right? But we need people to understand that as they're speaking to legislators, because I have found that even legislators, you figure all of the issues they need to be informed in and healthcare concerns, all the things that they have to learn. It is important for us to understand when we're talking to them how that works, because not all of them seem to completely understand it as well. Any other questions for Hannah?
Yeah, I just had a question on making it more difficult for music therapists and that kind of stuff. I just wondered if you could clarify that on wanting more, wanting more and more qualifications it seems like that's gonna put people out of the. I mean, I understand that as a disabled person, that you can't have physical therapists or occupational therapists or speech therapists that don't know what they're doing. But I just wondered about, making the requirements more. What do you mean by that?
Right. So what we're trying to do is there are different programs. For instance, I went to Ball State and they have a music therapy program that a person goes through and becomes a music therapist. So they get training on it. My mom is our church pianist and she can, play the piano and sing, but she doesn't know everything about being a therapist. So we just don't want anybody to be providing therapies because they know how to, play an instrument. We want them to have the proper training. So that's why we're trying to get music therapy protection so that my mom can't just go and say, hey, I'm a music therapist and start getting Medicaid funding from people and insurance coverage from people when she's really not able to provide therapy with it.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Good question.
Any other questions for Hannah? Thank you, Hannah, so much for being here. Like I said, you're a rock star. We're very happy to have you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Well, it's a great segue to Cecilia, who will introduce our next agenda item, a big support to direct support professionals.
Sure. So next up on the agenda is Lucy Clem. She's the founder of Help Over Hurdles, and Michelle Stelz, who is the financial controller for Opportunities for Positive Growth. They are also going to share a little bit more about supporting our direct support providers. So welcome, Lucy and Michelle.
All right, hello, thank you. And I do have a 3-year-old assistant by me who is currently being quiet, so we'll keep it that way. But I wanted to introduce Help Over Hurdles. I have presented to this group before, and we have a little bit more muscle on our legs that we keep running with, and we're doing our best to advocate for DSPs. I appreciate all the work that Hannah is doing. I also want to say thank you to the Fishers Disability Advisory Committee. It's just really amazing to see all the great things that are going on. So the mission of Help Over Hurdles is responding to the needs of direct support professionals with compassion, advocacy, and financial assistance. And we were created so that we can make sure that the DSPs that are providing care have less stress, have less on their mind, so that they can focus on the care that they're providing. Because when they're at their very best, that's when their highest quality of service is taking place. And the DSPs have definitely stepped up in 2020. They continued to work throughout the pandemic as that essential worker, and no questions asked. Most of our relief for DSPs came so that they could continue providing support. We have seen early numbers from 2020 that shows less turnover. And that's because of the dedication to the people that they support. And knowing the DSPs that have come to Help Over Hurdles, that have volunteered for Help Over Hurdles, we have just seen so many good things from what they're doing. We are made up of volunteers, and we're always looking for more. So if you would like to volunteer to help with Help Over Hurdles, we would love to have your assistance. I know this group is pretty familiar with DSPs, but they are doing so much above and beyond. They provide personal care, they help access community resources, they promote rights, they promote independence, but they all have to adapt it to each individual person. And the true magical part of an interaction between a DSP and a person supported is it's not one size fits all. They know how to adjust and support each person on an individual basis. You know, I love the ally message. They are that individual ally. They know how to champion the rights for each person. And the DSPs are doing that day in and day out. And I know everybody on this committee knows their value, are advocating for their value, and I appreciate all the things that this committee is doing and the ARC is doing as well. So we always are for strengthening the position. I mentioned that, you know, turnover will always be an issue. Kelly mentioned the workforce crisis, and it is a crisis. Educating on what a DSP does is probably always our first step. And it's hard to define because it is adapted to each individual person. What I might need to work on might be different than somebody else. And so in terms of turnover, we want to see longevity in that position because it takes a while to learn somebody. It takes a while to learn all the nuances that will help that person succeed, whether it's in their job, whether it's in their home. So turnover in any position is hard. Turnover in a position such as a direct support professional is just awful. I also am a guardian for somebody with a disability, and she lives in another state, and not knowing who is on her schedule, not knowing who is supporting her every single day. A guardian, someone who is far away, especially during the pandemic, it is incredibly hard not to know who those DSPs are, because when as a caregiver, as a parent, as a guardian, as a friend, when you know who those DSPs are, you know who you can count on. You know who those people are that are gonna move those things forward. So at Help Over Hurdles, we are always keeping tabs on the indicators that would shift the position, because we want that position to be so strong. We have so many stories of DSPs that we have helped. We receive applications through our website from DSPs, and we've shared most of our information with providers across the state, and they share that information out. We've had word of mouth from DSPs, but most of them are centered on people coming with a need, whether it's a utility bill, rent, auto, health insurance, whatever it is. People are asking just for that help to get over that one little thing so that they can focus on their job. And, you know, knock on wood, we have never had to turn anybody away. We have great support, great donors, and, you know, all the DSPs are incredibly appreciative. This is just one story. Last week in particular, we've seen a lot of the heating bills increase from the winter, from our little blast of cold, but that raised a lot of people's heating bills. And so we've had requests come in to make sure that that won't be an issue for any direct support professional. And I also want to mention that we have a lot of DSPs who donate to Help Over Hurdles. And to me, that is just absolutely incredible. To see DSPs helping other DSPs is something I never would have anticipated through this organization. I am going to have Michelle Stelz share where we supported people this past year.
Yeah, so all of the funds that are that are given out are all donations. You can see that the biggest piece was utilities. We saw with the pandemic that because of some other things with stimulus and that type of thing, that there were some other supports. But a big piece is just the utilities. Also that car, making sure that you are getting back and forth to work. You know, there's nothing worse than saying, I need my car fixed, I can't get to work, but if I can't get to work, I can't earn the money to fix my car. And so those type of things. You know, there were some medical bills that came up. We had a couple people that needed help with some rent. And also then just food costs as well for their family. And
in the last year too, we knew that DSPs were so focused on providing care and being, you know, on shift. We did a lot more giveaways and gifts just throughout the year for DSPs to take care of themselves so that they could focus on what they needed. We are focused right now on sharing impact stories and the importance of direct support professionals as a position. I know the ARC of Indiana has also got that campaign as well. We want to partner for policy change, increase DSP wages. Again, we know what that all entails. Monitoring burnout is also very important because, again, we want people to stay in this position. When DSPs are highly trained, satisfied in their job, there's also less instances of abuse, neglect, exploitation, and mistreatment. So we have some data that supports that. It's more anecdotal. I can't say that right now. But we want to see people bring their very best to each shift. So how you can help, donate through PayPal on our website, and I'll put our website in the chat, or I'll have Michelle do that. Help spread the word about DSPs at your organization, like our page on Facebook. You know, support the ARC's mission of sharing stories, the importance of DSPs. We have amazing partners and organizations that are also incredible donors, and, you know, let your legislators know about the need for increased DSP wages. We have Kroger Community Rewards and also Amazon Smile. We also want to thank one of our biggest donors is the Indiana Association of Behavioral Consultants. Again, going back to that story of DSPs helping other DSPs, these are professionals that work alongside and train direct support professionals and know their value. And so we were incredibly grateful for their ongoing donations.
Yeah, so a really easy way is, you know, if you don't want to make a direct contribution or that, I know this is a hard time for everybody, but really easy to select Help Over Hurdles as you're either through the Kroger Community Rewards, you can designate that through your Kroger card, or when you're doing, if you do something on Amazon, you can go through smile.amazon.com and select Help Over Hurdles as the recipient for that.
Hey guys, I want to give you guys a little kudos as well. Even though Lucy and Michelle happen to work for Opportunities for Positive Growth, this is for DSPs across agencies. This is for, you know, an Insights Consulting DSP might really need an extra $30 to get a nail taken out of their tire. And there's many of us on this call that don't realize how big of an emergency a $30 expense can be. But when you're making $11 an hour, it is just a godsend to have a little bit of help. And, you know, if you're getting to the point where you're like, hey, you know, I like to give philanthropically, or I want to give $100 to a not-for-profit, I'll tell you what, $100 goes a long, long way at Help Over Hurdles compared to giving to some other charity. So I'm a big fan. I am very, very well aware of what a struggle it is for some of my DSPs. I love Help Over Hurdles, and I give you guys lots of kudos for doing what you do. I know you're helping a lot of people, and I know this group can help get the word out and be a big support to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Kelly. I will say one more thing is we pretty much get, you know, cash in people's accounts or a check in the mail within 24 hours. I mean, we all know what that means. And if people are asking they're asking for a reason. And we also want to reduce the stigma for DSPs to ask for help, because, you know, we have a lot of people that have filled out applications, but we know not all the DSPs will even go that far. So we want to make sure that they know it's available. It is always anonymous, and we appreciate what all the DSPs do, and this is a small way of helping them in whatever they might need. So thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit more about it.
And this
You're
is also
welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Did you have anything to say, Michelle?
Yeah, Cecilia, I was going to say that, as you guys know, people, this is for anybody who's a DSP in the state of Indiana as well. So it is not just limited to Fishers. We've had folks, I think, all the way up, you know, in Valpo, down in Evansville, that we've been able to help. So it's not really geared just to Hamilton County or just to Central Indiana. It is really anybody who is in the state at any agency. So anybody who's in that direct support role.
Okay, wonderful. And maybe we can even put this on our list of resources there for the city of Fishers. That would be great. We'll add that. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So boy, the 2 hours is speeding by. Next on the agenda, I'm just going to touch on this because we're getting close to the 2 hour mark. One of the more important events that we do for March Disability Awareness Month, and unfortunately last year it was canceled due to COVID, but this year it will be a virtual a Zoom type Teams meeting event. It is by invitation only. I'm inviting all of you on the call today, and anyone that's in our Fishers Advisory Committee on Disabilities email list. We have an event called My Point of View Day. We've been having that almost every year since we got started as a city, I believe. And it is a day where the disability stakeholders can come together and share what life is like from your points of view. And we have invited elected officials, the mayor of Fishers, city staff, department heads, community leaders, and of course, all of you. And so it is a really important day because this is a time where we get to share candidly, we can share ideas. And so that day is going to be Tuesday, March 30th from 8:30 to 10:30. And so if you are interested, I will send you the link to register, and I'll put it in the chat box there. But what we will do on that day is we are going to highlight the montage video that we put together that I'm going to show here at the end of our meeting. But we are going to be putting everybody in roundtable discussions. And so the topics of priority for this year is one, transportation. I want to say that that's something where we haven't even scratched the surface yet in Fishers, but there's some exciting things happening within Fishers. We have an autonomous vehicle company that's coming to headquartered here from Japan. So we have an opportunity perhaps to maybe work on some kind of an autonomous type program or pilot program that could help people with disabilities and help move our community, people in our community here in Fishers. So I think there's a lot of opportunities. Employment. Every year we continue to hire more people with disabilities. We're engaging more businesses. We've partnered with One Zone, so we need people to talk about employment and bringing more community partners in. Housing. Wilbur Sutton, he just left, but he's been chairing the housing committee, subcommittee. This year, this past year, we broke ground, Real America broke ground on a project called South Point Village multifamily apartment units that will be set aside for people with disabilities that are affordable and accessible. So we continue to talk about housing and how that is important for people with disabilities. The next roundtable topic is community supports and services. Obviously, we need to educate our leaders about direct support providers and the services that people need within our community in order to have a quality of life, to be able to do things and engage in the community, to be able to do things. So that's an important topic. This year, what's being considered is a possible rec center for the city of Fishers, a Monon, like Carmel's Monon Center, something like that. So we need to talk about recreation, arts, and culture opportunities for people with disabilities. So we need your thoughts on a possible rec center. What kind of accessibility would you need? What kind of programming would you need? What kind of space would we need? So that's very important. And the last one is networking and social opportunities. Many of you know that Mary Kennedy started the Thrive Social Club for individuals 18 and older with intellectual and physical disabilities. And it's an inclusive social group. They've been meeting via Zoom every week. It's been awesome. So we need more discussion on continuing those opportunities of networking and socializing. So those are our topics. I'm going to put in the chat box there where you can email me if you are interested in participating on March 30th. And we are just interested in hearing from you. It's very important that you participate. I know that some of you come just for the quarterly meetings. Some of you are more able to get more involved, and we really appreciate it. So at whatever level that you're able to engage, this committee is very important for our community. And so we need everyone there available to participate on March 30th from 8:30 to 10:30. And Kelly, I don't know if you have anything else to add to March 30th or my point of view day.
No, I just, again, you guys are a core group, and you may know people that we need for specific conversations around transportation, housing, like the areas that Cecilia mentioned. If you do know someone that you think we should invite who may not be here tonight, please let us know that, because that's an important day as we inform leadership in our city of how we can continue to be an inclusive, forward-thinking community. And so it is really important. Let us know how we can reach people who need to be there.
Absolutely. So with that, I want to leave you. First of all, I would just want to thank everyone for being here this evening. I don't know if there's any other announcements really quick before we show the montage video. I don't know if there's anybody that has any announcements or anything like that. But I am really excited to show you this montage video. It's 14 minutes and we tried to scale it down, but honestly, it really does just highlight the solid foundation of what we've tried to build in the last few years. This advisory committee on disability has been a big part of this, and bringing all the stakeholders together and working collaboratively. So we have a lot to be proud of here in Fishers. Just like 6 months ago over the summer, Carmel has now established a Carmel Advisory Committee on Disability. The city of Westfield is wanting to start one, and the city of Lawrence as well. So we have started a movement. It starts one person at a time, one business at a time, one leader at a time, and all of you. So enjoy this video, because many of you have been a part of this story. And so we're going to go ahead and cue up the video. So there you go, everybody. That's a lot there. It's we have a lot to be proud of, and it has been amazing to work with all of you to build this inclusive community, and we're excited to share the 2021 highlights and to continue building, because I feel the sky is the limit, and we are just a, you know, it's great to just live in the city of Fishers and to have so many people that we can work together with. So unless there's any more questions or anything, I want to just thank everybody for being here. And I put on the chat, the next meeting, the quarterly meeting, will be May 1st, Tuesday, May 1st. And so again, just email me if you're interested in being a part of my Point of View Day, and I'll be sending an email out anyway to everybody. But have a good evening, everybody. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
evening, Cecilia.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you.